Welcome to you, my lords and ladies and citizens from across the Lost Realms. I am Audric Cashmere. You are listening to the Moonhaven Falls Crystal Network. There's been a bizarre discovery at Moonhaven Falls sewers, an ancient turtle overseeing unexpectedly dry conditions. A routine investigation into unusual drainage issues within the Moonhaven Falls sewer system has yielded a perplexing discovery. The resident water elemental, Splashy, appears to have taken a leave of absence, leaving an ancient and surprisingly fastidious turtle in charge. The consequences of this unconventional arrangement have resulted in localized dry patches and a distinct lack of the sewer's usual, dampness. The peculiar situation came to light when a party of local adventurers, hired by the increasingly concerned Moonhaven Falls Sanitation Guild, ventured down into the subterranean network to investigate reports of stagnant pools and unexpectedly dry tunnels. Instead of encountering the expected magical blockage, or perhaps a monstrous intrusion, they instead found a large, moss-covered turtle diligently sweeping debris into small, meticulously organized piles. Upon questioning, a process described by the adventurers as surprisingly coherent, albeit slow, the ancient reptile revealed that Splashy has informed him of her temporary departure, reportedly for a, quote, much-needed vacation to the elemental plane of water. In her stead, she had appointed him as the interim caretaker of the sewers. The turtle, who introduced himself as Sheldon, the slow but diligent, explained his interpretation of his duties, maintaining the cleanliness of his immediate surroundings. He expressed confidence that Splashy would soon handle the larger water-related issues upon her return. This philosophy has unfortunately led to several sections of the sewer system becoming significantly drier than usual, much to the consternation of the Sanitation Guild and the occasional subterranean creature.
"We were expecting goblins, perhaps some oozes,"
recounted Alara DeMarks.
"We certainly weren't expecting a philosophical debate with a turtle about the division of labor in a sewer system. He was quite insistent that sweeping pebbles was his primary responsibility."
The Moonhaven Falls Sanitation Guild is currently in a state of bewildered frustration. While Sheldon appears to be diligently keeping his designated areas tidy, the lack of flowing water is causing concerns about sanitation and potential structural issues within the aging sewer network. As a brief overview for those of you who are just listening in, the Moonhaven Falls Sewer's resident water elemental Splashy is currently on vacation. The interim manager is an ancient turtle named Sheldon the Slow but Diligent. He has some rather unconventional cleaning methods, prioritizing the physical removal of debris over maintaining water flow, and several areas of the sewer system are currently experiencing unusually dry conditions. Continuing, the Moonhaven Falls Guard has been informed of the situation, but admits that their expertise lies more in terrestrial threats. They are currently consulting with local mages and scholars to determine the best course of action, which may involve either convincing Sheldon to embrace a more aquatic approach to his duties, or else finding a way to contact the vacationing Splashy. Citizens of Moonhaven Falls are advised that while the sewers may be more fragrant than usual, they should still exercise caution when disposing of waste. The long-term consequences of a turtle-managed sewer system still remain to be seen. Up next, we here at the Crystal Network are aware of the sentiments surrounding Gary the Lich. We were surprised to receive a letter today from the ever-mysterious TTT with his personal opinion on the current situation. While public opinion pieces are generally discouraged by station management, we at the station, and hopefully you, our listeners, are willing to give this particular letter a little more weight after the last one led to the hiring of our fan-favorite cub intern, Timmy. To the good people of the Moonhaven Falls Crystal Network, I am writing you today with a rather unusual testimony, one that I felt compelled to share with our community. I am speaking, of course, of Gary. You know, the Gary the Lich. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Lich, undead, soul-devouring sorcerer of immense power. Not exactly the keywords you would associate with children's activities, and I admit I had my reservations. Indeed, I had a great many of them, but I have seen him with the children firsthand. And folks, what I witnessed was astonishing. Gary is good with children. surprisingly, exceedingly good. He has a surprisingly kind and gentle demeanor, and that booming voice of his, he uses it to tell the most captivating stories. The children and myself were spellbound when he recounted the legend of the Shadowfell, complete with dramatic pauses and, I kid you not, shadow puppets. How does he do it with those bony fingers? And he's incredibly patient, too. Little Billy, bless his heart, kept trying to help Gary with his spellcasting, mostly by throwing glitter at him. Gary, however, just chuckled, which was a surprisingly melodic sound for a lich, and let little Billy sprinkle away. He even organized a scavenger hunt in the Oakhaven Park, and you would not believe the lengths that he went to. He didn't just hide the clues. He enchanted them with riddles. The kids were challenged, engaged, and absolutely thrilled. And when little Sophie got scared in the spooky parts of the woods, it was just Miss Gable's garden gnome collection, but you know how kids are, Gary conjured a small harmless illusion, a friendly glowing wisp to guide her back. Now, I know it sounds crazy, and I'm still having trouble believing it myself, but it seems that Gary the Lich is a natural with children. He is kind, patient, creative, and genuinely seems to enjoy their company. And so, Moonhaven, I just wanted to share this, my opinion. Perhaps it will give some of you a new perspective, and maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't judge a book by its lack of skin? Sincerely, TTT. Well, I don't know where you are or who you are, our mysterious letter writer, but I have to admit, I myself am reconsidering my stance on Gary the Lich. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the Crystal Network. This is Audric Cashmere. Our top story at the moment, Moonhaven Falls is on edge as an eerie fog has brought whispers of the undead. A thick, unnatural fog has crept into the southern borders of Moonhaven Falls over the past few days, blanketing our familiar landscape with an unsettling shroud. While such mists are not entirely uncommon in the marshy lowlands, this particular phenomenon has sparked fear amongst the residents, fueled by an increasingly credible report of undead creatures emerging from the opaque depths. The fog, described by witnesses as unusually dense and cold, has rolled in silently, swallowing landmarks and muffling sounds. Farmers returning from their southern fields were the first to raise the alarm, speaking of shadowy figures moving within the swirling vapor. Figures that do not walk like the living.
Saw it with my own eyes,
Stated Darnell Digwell, a local farmer known for her level-headedness, while speaking to this correspondent in the relatively clear air of Moonhaven Falls Central Square just a few moments ago.
Tall, gaunt things, eyes glowing a sickly green light. One of them reached out a bony hand toward my cart. I just spurred Bess and didn't look back.
Her account has been corroborated by others. Gareth Stonefist, a seasoned woodcutter who ventured slightly south of his usual grounds, has also reported seeing shambling forms and hearing a faint chilling moan carried on the still air within the fog bank. Even the usually unflappable members of the Moonhaven Guard admit to a palpable sense of unease. Captain Alar Vancroft confirmed earlier today, "We have sent scouting parties into the edge of the fog, and they have reported a very limited visibility and a distinct drop in temperature. While they have not engaged any hostile entities directly, they have observed very disturbing signs. Footprints that don't belong to any known creature, and an unnatural stillness that silences even the birdsong." Whispers of necromancy and ancient evils stirring in the forgotten bogs south of Moonhaven Falls are spreading like wildfire through the town. Some speculate about a return of the Shadowfen Necromancer, a figure of dark legend said to have haunted this region centuries ago. Others fear a more recent localized source of this so-called unholy activity. The local temple has increased its patrols and is currently offering blessings and guidance to concerned citizens. Father Thomas, the temple's head cleric, urged calm, but did advise caution. "We must remain vigilant and trust the light to protect us. Avoid venturing alone into the fog, and please report any unusual sightings to the town guard immediately." As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across Moonhaven Falls, the eerie silence emanating from the south is a stark reminder of the potential danger lurking just beyond the edge of sight. The residents of Moonhaven Falls can only hope that the source of this ominous fog, and its potentially undead denizens, will be swiftly identified and dealt with before the encroaching darkness consumes our peaceful town. The Moonhaven Falls Crystal Network will continue to provide updates as this unsettling situation unfolds.
For all your alchemical needs and potent potion requirements, look no farther than the Curious Concoction, Moonhaven's premier purveyor of precise preparations. Proprietor Alara Vancroft, a master alchemist with years of dedicated study, offers a wide array of carefully crafted potions and essential alchemical ingredients. Whether you require a reliable antidote for unexpected poisonings, a revitalizing potion of minor healing, or rare reagents for your own arcane experiments, the Curious Concoction maintains the highest standards of both quality and potency. Alara herself provides custom concoctions for specific needs, within ethical and legal boundaries, of course, and offers knowledgeable advice on the proper handling and application of alchemical substances. Safety and efficacy are our top priorities. We also stock a variety of laboratory glassware, measuring tools, and rare herbs sourced from across the region. For reliable potions and quality alchemical supplies, visit the Curious Concoction, located in the quieter apothecary district of Moonhaven Falls. Mention you heard about us here on the airwaves, and receive a complimentary vial of our invigorating smelling salts. That is the Curious Concoction, finding you what you need.
Welcome to you, my lords and ladies. Greeting and thanks to our knights and adventurers. A respectful tip of the hat to the thieves, the merchants, our fellow entertainers, and citizens of all walks of life here in the Lost Realms. Welcome back to Crossroads Chronicles, where we explore the diverse tapestry of lives that make up our world. Today we have a guest who has truly forged her own path, defying expectations and turning a unique perspective into a powerful craft. Inspired by the courage of a certain singing Naga that we featured some time ago, please welcome the remarkable Medusa blacksmith, Axiana Stoneheart.
Thank you for having me. It's, unusual, but welcome.
Axiana, your work is renowned throughout the region. Your blades are said to hold an unmatched sharpness, your armor possesses an incredible resilience, and your artistic artwork? Well, it's simply breathtaking. But your journey to becoming a master blacksmith is rather unique, isn't it?
Unique is one way to put it, yes. For generations, my kind have been associated with a different kind of artistry, one involving stillness, not creation.
Indeed. And the power to petrify is a formidable one, often defining how others perceive Medusae. What sparked your interest in the fiery forge instead?
Oh, it was a chance encounter with your program, actually, Crossroads Chronicles. Since then, I often find myself listening to it in the workshop. The sound of the music in the background, with the rhythmic hammering overlaying it soothes the more volatile aspects of my nature. And the first interview I heard was with Seraphina Scalesong.
Ah, yes, the Naga who traded ancient guardianship for the stage. Her story of breaking free of expectation resonated with you?
Oh, profoundly. For centuries, the weight of what I was supposed to be felt heavier than any anvil. Seraphina's courage to embrace her inner song, it was like a spark hitting the dry tinder of my soul. I realized my gaze didn't have to be a curse. It could be focused, intense. Despite it, I could become something more, purified, like metal in the heat of the forge.
Now that is a powerful analogy. So you saw Seraphina's defiance of expectation as permission to explore your own unconventional passion?
Precisely. Her voice, so fluid and expressive, made me think about the raw and malleable potential of metal, I know, I can see it on your face. It's an odd analogy, but the way it can be shaped and transformed by heat and force. It's a different type of music, a different song for certain, but it's a song nonetheless. A story of creation.
But the practicalities of starting your own business, especially in the middle of a city of humans, must have been challenging. Working with metal certainly requires an intense focus, but there is, well, the obvious concern with your gaze. How did you overcome that?
Um, Working around my gaze required adaptation. Specialized tools made by trusted hands with great and meticulous care. That and a deep and unwavering focus of my own will. You see, I learned to control my gaze, to channel it, much like the smith controls the heat of the forge. Oh, it's still a part of me, but it no longer dictates who I am or what I can do. And my apprentices? Well, they wear specially enchanted goggles. For safety, of course. Safety first. Or was it second?
50 seconds. Right. Your apprentices speak very highly of your skill and patience. They say you have an incredible eye for detail.
Patterns in the metal. What others perceive as flaws in the ore, they seem to speak to me. It's almost as though they guide my hammer. I don't know. Perhaps my former ability has given me a unique appreciation for the textures and forms of the natural world. It seems to translate well into my work, though.
And your artistry certainly reflects that. Your serpentine forms often seem to weave their way into your designs, creating pieces that are both functional and strikingly beautiful. Do you see your heritage as a hindrance or more as a unique advantage to your craft now?
Well, in the beginning, fear and prejudice were in fact obstacles, yes, but now. Now I believe it gives me a perspective that very few others will ever possess. I understand the weight of expectation. Better than most, I understand the power of transformation, and my work is a testament to the fact that even the most formidable of beings can find beauty and purpose in unexpected places, just as a Naga can find her voice in song. A Medusa can find hers in the rhythm of the hammer.
That is wonderfully put, Oxiana. You have truly hammered out a remarkable life for yourself, inspiring others to look beyond surface appearances and embrace their own unique potential. Oxiana Stoneheart, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey with us here on Crossroads Chronicles.
Oh, the gratitude is mine, and may your paths be strong and well forged.
And that was the inspiring story of Oxiana Stoneheart, proving that passion can bloom in the most unexpected of hearts, and perhaps even the most stony of gazes. You're listening to the Crystal Network here in the Lost Realms. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Concerns have escalated rapidly following an announcement from Gary, the lich operating the Spooky Funtime Kids Club from the Whispering Caves. The undead sorcerer has reportedly scheduled a field trip for his young club members to the notoriously dangerous and magically tainted Shadowfen near Willow Creek. Word of the excursion has spread rapidly through Moonhaven Falls, carried by nervous whispers and hastily scribbled notes. Parents who were already uneasy about their children's involvement with the Lich's Club are now expressing outright alarm at the prospect of a field trip to the Shadowfen, a swamp known for its treacherous terrain, monstrous inhabitants, and lingering dark magic. According to a newly surfaced flyer, penned in the same unsettlingly neat skeletal script, the Spooky Funtime Adventuring Society, formerly known as the Spooky Funtime Kids Club, will be embarking on an educational and thrilling expedition to the Shadowfen. The itinerary allegedly includes observing fascinating swamp flora, some of it bites back, identifying unique Shadowfen fauna, keep your fingers, and a delightful picnic amidst the ambient gloom. The flyer also boasts expert undead guidance from Gary and assures that all necessary precautions, mostly, will be taken to ensure a memorable and mostly safe experience. However, the casual inclusion of phrases like "some of it fights back" and "keep your fingers" has done very little to assuage parental fears. News of the planned outing has reached as far as Willow Creek, where residents are aghast at the thought of children being brought to the Shadowfen, a place even seasoned adventurers treat with extreme caution. Local authorities in the Willow Creek are reportedly in urgent communication with the Moonhaven Falls Guard and regional adventuring guilds to discuss potential intervention. Sheriff Eldrin Jones provided the following statement. "This is beyond concerning. It's reckless. The Shadowfen is no place for children, not even under the supervision of a magically powerful, being like Gary. The risks are immeasurable. We are exploring all possible avenues to prevent this ill-conceived trip from occurring." The Adventurers Guild near Moonhaven Falls is said to be in emergency council, debating whether to directly intervene and strongly discourage Gary's field trip, potentially through forceful means. The ethical implications of confronting a seemingly, albeit dangerously, enthusiastic children's club organizer are reportedly causing some internal debate, but the overwhelming consensus leans towards prioritizing the safety of the children. However, Ryan Sweetroll, age 12, of the Spooky Fun Time Adventuring Society, has told us that he feels safe with Gary, going so far as to say,
Gary does his best to make sure that we're all safe while we're with him. I almost lost my fingers to a snapping hydrogena, but Gary got it back from the flower and reattached it. See? He can barely even see the scar.
And from this reporter's perspective, there is the hint of a rough line that circles the pointer finger. Well, I guess he knows better than to poke at unknown flowers from now on. As a recap, Gary the Lich is planning a field trip for the new Spooky Fun Time Adventuring Society to the Shadowfen. The Shadowfen itself is a notoriously perilous and magically tainted swamp. Parents in Moonhaven Falls and authorities in Willow Creek are all expressing some serious concerns. The planned activities include observing dangerous flora and fauna, as well as a picnic in the gloom. Local authorities and adventurers are considering steps to prevent it. Parents in Moonhaven Falls are being strongly advised to keep their children away from the Whispering Caves and to actively discourage their participation in any activities organized by Gary, especially those involving excursions to hazardous locations like the Shadowfen. The situation remains volatile, and further updates will be provided as the events unfold. For more information, please contact Barnaby Quill at Moonhaven Falls, as well as Sheriff Alara Finch at the Willow Creek Town Hall. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our episode for this week. If you were entertained, amused, intrigued, or engaged by this, there's a couple of ways that you can help to ensure the show's continued production. Please take a moment to like the video, share it with a friend, and leave a comment with your thoughts below. If you're listening in a podcast platform, a quick rating is actually invaluable to us, and we very much appreciate you taking a moment to let other people know that we're worth listening to. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel or follow the podcast. It's a free, simple action that is absolutely essential to the continuation of our production. And for those of you who wish to directly invest in the future of our work, please explore our community on Patreon. We offer several membership tiers with exclusive benefits, and of course, your financial support is what makes it possible for us to deliver this kind of content week after week. We genuinely appreciate all of you showing your support, and we would like to thank you for continuing to do so. And I look forward to seeing you next episode.